Hello friends, are you okay? Today's video will talk about a famous personality who has become a mystery to many thinkers. Or as some people see him, he is the devil, that he is Rasputin. The question remains, who is this person, and why is he likened to the devil? Before the start of the video, do not forget support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the bell button to receive all new updates. Let's get started. When Mr. Gusho combined reality with fiction and quoted the character of Gregory Rasputin, this was in the third movie of Detective Conan's films, titled The Wizard of the Last Century. Rasputin's life and his eyes look that causes tension and discomfort, was a source of mystery to many historians, as it was his stories are among the most exciting, inspiring and mysterious stories, to be quoted in many live films, animations and fictional stories. And Gregory Rasputin is a devil in a monk's garb, as is rumored about him. And he exploited religion to reach the maximum levels of influence, and he had a major role in the fall of the ruling Romanov family and the collapse of the Russian Empire, due to the deterioration of economic and social conditions and corruption in the royal class, and the control of the foreign empress in the administration of government, continuing to resort to Rasputin, whose interventions increased towards the Tsar of Russia and his monarchy, the Bolshevik Revolution led by Lenin and the Red Army, to announce after its success the establishment of the Soviet Union in November 1917. It was known about Rasputin since his childhood that he possessed insight and instinctive insight, and his birth was in a small countryside for a family that practiced agriculture and farming as their work. But Rasputin's life was not without tragedies, as he lost his mother at an early age, and he also witnessed the burning of his house and the family farm that they subsist on. From her, and later lost his brother and sister, respectively, drowned in the river. When Rasputin grew up, he decided to approach the life of the monks, but that life did not suit him at all, as Rasputin was a slave to his lusts, and this led to his later embracing a heresy called Callistism, a heresy that appeared in the late 14th century, and its danger lies in its essence based on making evil to see God's mercy. Rasputin later marries Praskovy and has 4 children with her, and when he reached the age of 30, opinions gathered around him that he traveled to call to Callistia. He visited the holy places for that, and many people loved him to the point of seeing him as a saint, while another group considered him an envoy from Satan. Rasputin claimed during that period that he was able to predict and heal people from their incurable diseases, so that his star would rise at that time and his fame would increase to cover all of Siberia, which prompted him to travel after that to Petersburg, which is the capital of the Russian Empire, and there he predicted the birth of the heir to the throne before the end of 1904, and that was on the ears of the people of that city, to believe that prophecy. And this is what increased the popularity of this man until his personality captivated the men of the church at the time. After that, Prince Alexei, who was the expected heir to the throne, was born. But the misfortune was that the prince was born with hemophilia, and this disease makes the patient bleed to death, no matter what wound he may be exposed to. So that Prince Alexei was saved by Rasputin at one time, and this brought him close to the family of Tsar Nicholas II, increased Rasputin's influence even more. And no sooner had Rasputin become a very close advisor to the Tsar and Empress Alexandra, and this angered the ruling Romanov family, who were not satisfied with his presence, as according to them Rasputin was an impostor. Because of the defeat of the Russian army in front of the German army and the invasion of Warsaw, the Tsar removed his uncle Nicholas the Great from commanding the army to personally lead the battles heading to the front lines, leaving power in the hands of Empress Alexandra at the time, and this led to a bad relationship between the Russian people and the Tsar, because the Empress was hated by the Russians because she is German. In 1913, Rasputin opposed the war with the Ottomans in the Balkans, and warned Tsar Nicholas II against entering it in order to avoid the end of the rule of the Romanov family, as Rasputin predicted that. But the Tsar ignored Rasputin's warnings because of the pressures placed on him by fanatical patriots, who continued to insist on the necessity to get into that war. After the Tsar's departure, attempts continued to assassinate Rasputin, until he ended up being hospitalized as a result of a stab wound to his stomach. Despite this, Rasputin continued to send letters to the Tsar urging him to avoid conflicts that would bring calamities to Russia and its people. But Caesar ignores Rasputin's warnings and participates in World War I, and this made Russia lose as a result 4 million Russians as victims of the war. In 1916, Rasputin predicted his death at the hands of the Tsar's relatives, to send a message to him stating the following: "If your relatives kill me, no member of your family will survive for more than 2 years. and you can say that all your children or relatives will be killed by the Russian people. After that message, the Russian people will kill them. Rasputin was actually assassinated on December 16, 1916 at the hands of the Russian nobles, who were eager to end his influence on the royal family. Prince Yusupov invited Rasputin to a dinner party and poisoned him in food and drink, but Rasputin was not affected by that, so the prince shot him, causing it led to Rasputin falling to the ground, and while the prince and his accomplices were carrying the body, Rasputin rose up and fled from the palace gate, so they chased him and shot him again, then carried him and drowned him in the Neva River, and the autopsy stated that Rasputin had already died when his body was dumped. To fulfill Rasputin's prophecy, 9 months after his death, the Tsar of Russia and his family were executed by the Bolshevik revolutionaries.